What benefits does a person receive when given a pardon in Canada? That's what I'm going to cover in this video. I'm Dan Joffe. I am a Canadian pardon and travel waiver lawyer at NextLaw. Let's get started. Before I get into the benefits you get from a pardon in Canada, let me cover a few facts about criminal records. Your criminal record is stored in the Criminal Records Database, known as CPIC, controlled by the RCMP. That database is public and is accessible to anyone you give permission to. When you get a pardon in Canada, now called a record suspension, the Parole Board of Canada will direct the RCMP to remove your criminal record from the Criminal Records Database. That means traces of your criminal activity will be hidden, and that leads to a lot of benefits. Let me take you through them. 1, removes barriers to employment and volunteer opportunity. Today, it is very common that you will be asked to go through a criminal background check for any employment or volunteer opportunity. What's driving this trend is risk and insurance. Businesses today need to be insured, and most insurance policies require employees and volunteers to undergo criminal record checks. The logic is that people with criminal records represent a higher risk to the employer or volunteer organization, which leads to higher risk premiums. When you get a pardon or record suspension, your criminal record is removed from the Criminal Records Database. That means the result of your criminal background check will come out clean, effectively removing your criminal record as an obstacle to employment or volunteer work. 2, removes barrier to renting property. It's common for landlords to ask on a rental application whether you have a criminal record. The logic is that you may pose a higher risk than a renter with no criminal record. That risk may be perceived as a safety risk to others in the rental property, or whether you can be gainfully employed so you can afford to pay the rent. Because a pardon will remove your criminal record from the Criminal Records Database, you can legally answer that you don't have a criminal record, which would remove the barrier to renting property. 3, removes barriers to getting a loan. It's now common for financing companies to ask if you have a criminal record when applying for a loan. The logic for asking this question is that if you have a criminal record, you may find it hard to get employment, which may hurt your ability to properly service loan payments. So getting a pardon would remove that barrier to getting a loan. 4, removes barriers to permanent residency in Canada. To get permanent residency status in Canada, you need to get a pardon to remove your criminal record. And there are serious impacts that a criminal record has on getting Canadian citizenship. In this case, you should speak with a Canadian immigration lawyer to learn more. 5, gives you peace of mind. One of the biggest benefits of getting a pardon is peace of mind. There is a real stigma associated with a criminal record. A pardon or record suspension effectively removes that stigma and gives you the peace of mind that you can move on and move forward in your life without the burden of a criminal record. If you need help with your pardon or record suspension application, reach out to speak with us. Our law firm will prepare your Canada pardon application correctly so you can rest easy. Click on the link below to schedule a callback.